Yes.
In the last class, I was saying about the drawbacks of servlet drawbacks. So what is the first drawback of a servlet? You have to understand that inside a servlet, we are writing the HTML code indirectly by using a method known as println. Like HDFC application is there, HDFC bank app is there. Inside that, we have, suppose we are having a particular servlet. I'm writing the HTML code inside a method known as println. And when you consider we need to write the design part more, then it is difficult to write inside the println method. So to overcome this drawback, we are using a JSP. So what's the first point you can see? In servlets, the HTML code is written indirectly and the Java code is written directly. Whereas the JSP, it's vice versa. In this, what you're trying to do, in JSP, we write the HTML code directly and Java code indirectly using the tags. Here we have the second thing. What a second drawback is nothing but in a servlet, if I modify the code, we need to restart or recompile the server. Both things must be done. Whereas in a JSP, if you modify the code, we don't have to restart, we don't have to recompile. Just we need to refresh the particular page. So here in servlets, or if we modify the servlet code, we need to restart and recompile the file. Whereas inside JSP, if we modify the code, we need to refresh the page. That's it. And what is the third point you can say? Here we need a web.xml file to access, or what is it? Web.xml configuration file to execute the servlet. So without the web.xml, we can't execute a servlet directly. Inside JSP, you have to understand, like we don't require web.xml code. That's the next part. Okay. And next, after this, what is a JSP? JSP is an alternate way of writing the servlet code. Means similar to servlet, we use a JSP to generate the dynamic page. Whereas inside this JSP, we write the HTML code directly. That is the important point. And Java code indirectly using the tags. That we have to see. So next thing, the JSP have life cycle methods similar to servlets. But the thing is, inside that we have public void JSP in it, and we don't have any parameter. And second thing, public void underscore JSP service method. And third thing, public void JSP destroy. So these are the things which we required for a particular JSP. And you need to understand the underscore JSP method is not being overridden by the programmer. Means in a JSP file we won't write this method underscore JSP service method. Actually we use a tag. In the tag, whatever the code I will be writing, that code will be converted into the JSP service method. Who is doing all those things? It is done by the JSP engine itself. Okay. And here, what are the tags we have to see? Before the tags, you have to understand we are going to save the file as .jsp, not .java. So we are not starting the file with a class, which we used to do with the class register, right? Register servlet. This class will not be used from now onwards. In JDBC, we used to write a class. We used to write the public static void main. Coming to servlets, we are not using the public static void main because JVM is not executing and servlet engine is trying to execute the particular servlet class. That's the reason we are not having the public static void. Now, inside the JSP, we have to understand we are writing the HTML code directly and the Java code indirectly. Then we are not writing any particular term known as class. Just we use that code or the tags, and then JSP engine will convert that particular file to the particular .java. How it is doing that? We have some lifecycle phases. So lifecycle phases of a JSP. What are those lifecycle phases you can say? First thing, it will be having like translation phase, compilation phase, instantiation phase, initialization phase. Okay, so this translation, compilation, instantiation, initialization, and then we have the fifth thing, servicing phase, and the sixth thing will be the destroy phase. So these are similar to what we have seen in the servlets, the last four. The only thing which are different is nothing but the translation phase and the compilation phase. These two are also simple. It's just that if you see, I'm writing the file and saving the file as .jsp. In that, HTML code is written directly and the Java code is written indirectly. Now, if I pass that same file inside translation phase, what is happening? Like here, I'm having the phase as translation. And what is that file you can say? Suppose I'm written some .jsp, some file name .jsp I've written. If you pass it to the translation phase, it will convert that some .jsp into some underscore .jsp.java. Means based on that like tag, it will be placed or converted into a particular .java file. The code will be placed in the form of a class. That is the functionality in the translation phase. It is happening. The same way, if you take the compilation phase, we got a .java file now, but the servlet engine or the JSP engine cannot execute a .java file. So what is required now? We need a particular .class file. So what the compilation phase is doing? as we can say, we have a .java file. If you pass this .java file to a compilation phase, here it is a compilation phase. Then the compilation phase will convert this particular .java file to some underscore JSP dot class. Then we got a dot class file. And after that the process, you know, in the servlets we used to have the instantiation phase by using the class dot for name, and next we can say we have the initialization phase where the init method is being called, and after that we have the initial like servicing phase where that service method is being called. Okay, those are the two different things. And at the last, destroy phase is nothing but it will destroy the connection, database connection, you can say. Clear? Any doubts, anyone?
No.
Right. So you need to understand the next thing. What are the tags you are using actually? Simple thing, like if I'm having a particular tags, what are the tags you can say? First, declaration tag, scriptlet tag, expression tag. Okay, so how the JSP tag, like JSP particular example start, it will start with the HTML thing directly. So what is the declaration tag we have to see? First, declaration tag is a inside that Angular base exclamatory, and here we need to write the particular concept. What is that concept you can say? Close it, Angular base percentile, then the exclamatory mark, percentile, close the Angular base. This is the syntax of a declaration tag. What we write inside this tag, we can declare the instance or static variable or method. So we can write the instance variables or the static variables, or we can declare the variables or methods. Suppose I'm having an example here. So what's that example I'm taking? I'm taking a sum.jsp file. So in this thing, what will happen if you write the HTML code, and after the HTML code, if you write the body, VG color equals to wheat. So here I'm just writing the tags like h1 welcome to some program. So in this HTML tags, in between that we can write a particular Java code. How? Angular base percentile exclamatory mark, int a equals to 10, b equals to 20, and sum I'm taking. Okay, so just close this particular Angular base and percentile. Right? So here what is happening? This particular file, like Angular base percentile, is a declaration tag. We have declared in between the HTML code. The HTML code starting will be there and the ending will be here like body, and the next thing will be the HTML part. So what is declaration tag here? We can declare the variables in between the HTML tags. That's the most important thing you have to understand. We'll not start with a class. We'll start directly with the HTML code. In between, we can write the Java code by using the tags. Based on that, we can access. Okay?
Yeah.
So next thing will be like here we have the expression tag, or you can say the scriptlet tag. The scriptlet tag is nothing but the most important tag, where in the above part I explained that the underscore JSP service method is not being overridden by the programmer. We use a tag, and whatever we write inside the tag, it will be placed inside the service method, right? That tag is nothing but the scriptlet tag. Means whatever the task we are doing in the service method inside a servlet, the same task is being performed by a scriptlet tag. That is, request processing and response generation is done. Okay, so this is the most important thing of a scriptlet tag you have to say. Now in this example, if I have declared the variables, I need to perform the action, right? How can you perform the action? We can use here as like Angular base percentile, and inside that we can write that particular sum equals to a plus b. Not only sum equals to a plus b, if you say request.get parameter and that particular variable name, or request.get parameter that string, whatever we give, based on that string it will retrieve the value from the web server to the servlet code. The same task we can perform inside the scriptlet tag. Okay, now after the scriptlet tag we have the expression tag. Simple thing, we initialize the variables, we have to calculate. After calculating, we have the expression tag where you need to see Angular base percentile equals to the expression percentage close, or you can say the result percentile close. So what is the result you can say here? Here, for example, we need like percentile equals to rs dot get int of 1. We have seen in the JDBC. We used to retrieve the rs, right? The same thing we can write here. Or in this particular expression is nothing but the result. Whatever the value you want to display in the output, that can be displayed by using this particular result, you can say. Okay, so next thing here in this example, if you want to display the result, the sum of two integers is, after the HTML code, directly Angular base percentile equals to sum. So here it's displaying the result. Means whatever we used to write inside the pw.println, which executes on the browser, which displays on the browser, the same thing is done by the expression tag. So we need to create the print writer object here, but whereas inside the JSP it creates a JSP print writer. So JSP print writer is a default object created. So what are the things we'll see in the next thing, but before that we understood the tags, right? In between the HTML we can write the JSP codes, and the JSP codes are nothing but the tags which replace or being placed inside a particular class. For the same program, after the translation phase, what is the situation you can say? It's just nothing but a class we are writing. It's nothing but the sum underscore JSP, which extends the generic servlet as for now, and after that it has to write a particular int a equals to 10, b equals to 20 and sum. Then we write that public void service method, and here inside the servlets method we will have the objects. After the objects it will write that sum equals to a plus b, and next pw.println, it will print the value of sum directly along with the message, you can say. So whatever the message is there, that message will be displayed. Along with that message, this particular value will be displayed. So this is a class which is getting written or converted after writing the JSP when the translation phase is getting executed. Okay. So in this concept, clear or any doubts?
So at the last,
Your voice is breaking. Come again.
translation phase will be executed.
First translation phase.
Okay.
See, at the last, in the sense, you have to understand. You'll write the codes first, right?
Yeah.
In the server, you won't write the code. First, you'll be writing all the code separately. Then you'll place the folder inside the server, right? In the web apps.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that moment, then when you're running the server, the JSP engine will execute the JSP files. At that moment, this translation phase is getting executed. Then it will convert that particular code into a class. This
Okay.
entirely is done by the JSP engine itself.
Okay.
Any other doubts, anyone?
No.
Simple thing, you need to adapt to the changes, because in the next framework also you will change a lot of changes. The things will be, you're reducing the efforts. The coding standards which are difficult in the servlets are being reduced in the JSP. And now to overcome that, we are using the tags. Without the tags, we can't write the code. That you have to understand. Okay?
Yes.
These are the only three tags we have seen till now. But one more thing will be there. If I need to import, that is written outside the class, right? Whatever you have used, the three tags are inside the class.
Yeah.
Got my point? We have directive tag. What's the tag?
Directive tag.
Inside the directive, we have first thing page directive, and second thing include directive. What is page directive means? If you have a particular scenario where you want to import a package, Angular base percentile at the rate page import equals to the package dot class name percentile close. That's an example of a page directive tag. In order to import a particular package, we can use the page directive tag directly. Okay?
Okay.
Whereas the next thing, if you see, for an example, Angular base percentile at the rate the page, we need to use that import java.sql.star. Right?
Yes.
So why are you using this page directive?
To import the package.
Why are you using declaration?
Declaration.
Why we use declaration tag? Scriptlet tag? Declaration tag to declare the variables
Okay.
inside that particular class. Here you can see the declaration tag is being used. And scriptlet tag is to do the request processing and response generation inside this particular JSP. Okay.
Okay.
So next thing, after the page directive, the include directive we'll see later. But for the basic requirements, we got the tags, and you need to understand in servlets who generated the servlet config object. And who generated the servlet request object? Servlet response. Who generated all these objects?
Servlet engine.
Right. Servlet engine developed all these objects, right?
Yeah.
Whereas similar to this, here we are not even writing the class also inside the JSP. So inside JSP, we have the implicit methods. What are the implicit methods? You can like implicit objects. JSP contains 9 implicit objects. So the most important thing will be the first, like you can say, a request object, a response object. So we can directly use them. No need to declare anything because already these are available for all the JSP files.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to create any object, just directly use the particular names. Next, after request and response, we have a session. Then you can say the out is nothing but the JSP print writer object. Okay, and we have the fifth thing, like you can say application, or you can say config, and we have the exception object or the context page object, and the ninth one is exception object. So these are the 9 implicit objects which are generated by the servlet engine, sorry, JSP engine. You don't have to generate them again. Okay, you don't have to write any class, import any package. Directly you can use them. So if I want to use that out like println method, I just need to call the out.println. Or if we want to declare the output or display the output directly, we can use the tag, expression tag, you can say. Okay. Now the next thing will be the request response session. All these objects has been there, and if you want to use that out, you can use that out directly. So we need to write a page now. What the page you can say? Inside that example in the last class, we have seen only few things. I'll just restart the server. Right, open the application. Localhost :8088 / we can give the HDFC Bank application or the bank app directly. Okay, so you need to see this particular login and registration. So already you have logged in with some values here, Shiva and Shiva. We have deposited, right? In the last thing we have deposited an account number, we have written that amount. When I click on deposit, a servlet class will get executed. It's a simple thing. Whenever you click a link, a page will be displayed. In that, if you are sending the values to the database, we need to have the text box. If the database is retrieving the particular values, then you don't require any text box. Directly you can display the value. That's the second scenario. Okay, so now inside that, what's the JSP part we do? In the JSP part, it can display the balance inquiry. Means if I create a page, if I enter the account number, Then while showing that display that amount, it will display that balance. By using the JSP tags, we have to write this thing. Okay. So for that balance inquiry, if I click it, it should give the account number, not the amount. So if you understand this, deposit.html code is there. Open that code. Every time we need to just copy paste it, right? Edit with Notepad++, copy the entire thing as it is, go for the new page, save it as what you have to save here, the balance.html. So here we just have to say balance.html. It's not mandatory, just inside the link we have already mentioned it as balance.html. We are following the same thing. Just save this thing. Now here we don't require the amount, enter amount. So what I will do, I'll remove that particular enter amount and just instead of deposit, you can say inquiry. Save this thing, go back, and when I'm trying to click on the balance inquiry, you got that balance inquiry thing. When I click on this particular inquire, it should perform an action. Means what? Inside this balance.html, when I click on a button, it should execute an action tag. Inside that, inside an action tag, we don't write any like URL pattern for the particular servlet mapping. We directly write a JSP. What is it? Enquire.jsp. So here /enquire.jsp. That enquire.jsp we have to write. Okay? Understood the thing?
Yes.
And when I give the account number and click on inquire, what will happen? It should display the particular
Account number.
home page. No. When you click on the account number, it should display the particular amount, right?
Yeah.
How much amount we have in that account number?
6,000.
The same thing, it is displayed on the home page.
Yeah.
Like instead of the home page, you can say, instead of the welcome, it should say amount available is. So what you can do here, already the home page code is there, right? Just edit the thing. I'm just copying the entire thing. Here save the part as enquire.jsp. Remember, it's not .html, it's .jsp part. Because now we'll write the Java code inside the JSP. So what's the difference between a static page and a dynamic page means? HTML does not contain the Java code and the JSP contains the Java code. That's the most important difference you can say. Clear?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
So now, what is the next thing we have? I need to write a Java code here. So what's the first thing we do? Instead of welcome, we need to display the thing. So apart from that, first I need to import the package. How to import the package? What are the tags here being used? It's the page directory tag. Import java.sql.star. So here we have written it, right?
Yes.
Now, after importing, we need to connect to the database. So Angular base percentile, close the percentile. Now, how to write the connectivity? Class dot per name. Same thing. Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. That's the first thing. Then string URL equals to JDBC colon Oracle thin colon @ localhost 1521 x. That's it, right?
Yes.
And we have a username. What's the username we can say?
System.
What's the password you can say?
Manager.
Next, after that, we have to call a method. What's that method you are calling? Connection con equals to driver manager dot get connection. This entire thing is already seen by you, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing but the database connectivity code which you're writing inside the JSP using the scriptlet tag. After connecting to the database, I need to retrieve a value from the balance.html to the enquire.jsp. Like here, when I enter the account number and click on the button, it will transfer this account number. It will take that account number. So we have a method known as request.getParameter. So you can directly access the request object now because it's an implicit object, you can say. Here, the 9 implicit objects which are available contains the request also.
Yeah.
Request.getParameter, and what is that parameter you can say? Here we have the account number. Copy paste, don't type it again. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, close that particular part. Request.getParameter string, you can say account number. But instead of saying string, we need a particular integer, right? If you see that particular run SQL command line, what's that database you are using?
HDFC.
So what you have to see? Let's select star from HDFC. You got that particular things. Now what you have to understand, the account number is of what type means HDFC. The account number is of number, right? So we need to convert that string into number. How to convert the directly int account number? Then what do you have to do for conversion thing? Integer dot parseInt. It is a method, right?
Yeah.
By using this integer dot parseInt, we need to transfer the values. And here, if you see that account number is there, so directly we need to execute that thing. Like I can write a prepare statement.
Sir, can you increase the font size of this Notepad++? Is it possible?
Or else I'll directly write in the notepad itself. It's better actually here. Yeah.
Too tiny.
You can see that font. Now, in this thing, prepared statement PS equals to what you can say con dot prepare statement. I need to write a command known as select star from that particular HDFC where we have a particular account number equals to placeholder. How to fill the placeholder? PS dot set int of 1 comma. We need to have an account number, right? We have an account number. Until unless I call a method known as execute query, it won't get executed. And what is the return type of execute query? Result set rs equals to. See, everything is same, just the tags part is a new thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The calculating part and everything will be the same. Now, if that particular amount is there, if rs dot next, if it is true, what I have to display? Instead of welcome, I just have to say the amount available in account Angler base percentile equals to account number as well as Angler base percentile equals to the particular rs dot get int of the last index, or you can say the amount, right?
Yes.
Say this like file as enquire.jsp directly, and whenever we call this particular enquire, it will get executed. So actually I created a new file, right? So just for the precaution, I'm just trying to start the server. We got that H088, right?
Yeah.
So now you can see the application. Inside that, I just need to log out. We click on the login. We have a particular name like Shiva, and click on the balance inquiry. It gives the account number. What is the account number? 1234 and inquire. It's giving an error. What's that error you can say? The prepare statement spelling is wrong. Prepare statement, right?
Yeah.
So here I'm having one more error. Syntax error. Insert new class type to complete the expression. Or that new class type you can say where we are having it. Yeah. Actually, I opened the flower bracket, but I didn't close it, right? So after displaying that, open the Angular base percentile, close the flower bracket, close the percentile, Angular base. Means in between that particular like tags also we can write the JSP or the HTML code. Okay? So we can open it here and we can close it here. Now save this thing and refresh the part. So last thing it's saying, insert this parenthesis. Where we have to insert the yeah, here after if it has to be inserted. Okay. The amount available is 1, 2, 3, 4 is this particular amount, right?
Yes.
So we have seen this thing. Understood the part?
Yeah.
So this is only possible when you use a JSP. If you use the like servlets, it takes a lot of time actually. A lot of, like you can say, coding part is required. Okay? Understood what to use it, how to use a JSP? It's a simple thing. Every particular concept what we use in servlet, the same thing is being inside the JSP. Just it's an alternate way of writing the file that you have to understand. Okay?
Yeah. Sir, can you send me these pages? On the other day you told me that you couldn't mail these pages, XML pages, and because I copied from the internet these web pages, but I'm not able to access it. It gave me the error. When I'm creating my own web pages, I'm able to access it, but the one which I copied from the internet are not working.
Fine, if you are not available for free actually, it's fine. I'll just send it now.
Okay.
So in that send thing, but the thing is like this is I have taken separated from a project which I have done. This is a design part. Okay. So either you take the sites, like you have to search, because whoever is creating a real time also, they won't sit and write each and every line. Okay. They'll be copy pasting from Google itself. So at least a Java programmer should know how to handle these tags, like modifying here and there, whatever the small tags are there, okay, that you need to modify.
Okay.
So when you're practicing, you'll understand that mostly. Okay.
Okay.
So I've sent that pages. Try to do the deposit and the register. We have added 2 columns. In the database, you have to add the 2 columns
Yes.
and the all the things we have done. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So tomorrow at same time,
Okay.
we'll have the next session. Tomorrow we'll see the Eclipse part. Till now we haven't seen the Eclipse, right?
Yeah.
So how to use Eclipse and the same code whatever that we have done till now, how to do it in Eclipse.
Okay.
That also we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Thank
So
you.
if you have the recording, just try to upload.
Okay.